Hi, this is Clay Abear from Kickstarter Hacks, and we have an amazing guest with us today, the man behind what is probably the hottest Kickstarter project currently on the site, Mike Del Ponte, founder and CEO of Soma. Welcome, Mike.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So before we get into the Kickstarter campaign, tell people a little bit more about you. You've done some awesome stuff. You're in marketing for Branch Out, and then you founded Sparkseed. So can you cover your pre-Soma life in 2 minutes or less?
Yeah, absolutely. So my background and passion is really social entrepreneurship. So I've done a lot of stuff on the international aid side. I've worked in the West Bank, in Nepal, Jamaica, Mexico, India. And after a few years of doing that, I actually went to Yale Divinity School, preparing to become a Catholic priest.
Wow.
Decided to actually start a incubator for social entrepreneurs called Sparkseed, where we would identify a very select group of high-profile, high-promise young social entrepreneurs, trying to get them when they're first starting their ventures. And essentially, we would give them everything they needed to get their ideas off the ground. So we launched about 15 of these social ventures around the world. And then I went on and ran marketing for a tech company called Branch Out, which is the largest professional network on Facebook. We basically acquired 25 million users in 16 months, raised $49 million in venture capital. And then I started Soma with some great friends, amazing designers, and that's what is now bringing me here. And we just launched it on Kickstarter less than 2 weeks ago.
Awesome. Awesome. Exciting. It sounds like some of your prior experiences probably led you to create Soma. Can you, let's just say it. What is Soma? Explain to us what Soma is.
So Soma, I agree with you. It's really, for me, the capstone thus far of my career. And everything that I've been doing in marketing and in social entrepreneurship has led to starting this company. And Soma, essentially what we've done is we've created a high-end competitor to Brita water pitchers. So anyone who's owned a Brita has probably had this experience. You go to pour yourself a glass of water, the lid falls off, water spills all over your kitchen floor, and it can be very frustrating. Everything from that experience to the design of just having cheap plastic that you're not necessarily very happy with, especially when you have guests over and you want something to show off, to some of the sustainability aspects of it. Brita is made out of a plastic filter, and a lot of those end up in landfills. And that could take hundreds of years for a piece of plastic to decompose. So we've created the world's first compostable water filter made out of a Malaysian coconut shell carbon, vegan silk, and essentially PLA food-based plastics. So when you're done with this water filter, you can compost it and not have to put it into a landfill. And the other thing that's really great about Soma is we've designed a glass carafe. It's just gorgeous. It's hourglass shape. It's something that if you had a family or friend come over for a dinner party, you'd want to show it off. It's like a beautiful decanter. And then the last thing about it is that there's a subscription piece, meaning you'll never forget to change your water filter again, because every 2 months we deliver them directly to your door so you know when to change that filter.
That's great. There's so many cool aspects of Soma itself. I love the whole glass carafe thing. I personally use Chemex to make coffee, and when I saw the design, it's just so gorgeous. How did you find the team that you worked with? Because it's obviously being such a well-designed product, it's got a lot of moving parts. How did you put together the team that built Soma?
Yeah, thanks. We were very fortunate to bring in a lot of experts. So the filter is designed by David Beeman, who over 35 years has been working with companies like Starbucks and Peet's to develop their water formulas. He's developed our water filter, which he said he's never seen anything like it in the world after 35 years. So that's been a big honor. And then our industrial designers are some of the best in the world, and we have great advisors from Method, and Tim Ferriss is an advisor, and people from Tom's and Warby Parker. Everyone's really inspired by this opportunity. It takes something that is an everyday product that most of us own, and it's not necessarily very inspiring, to something that consumers are going to love, and it's good for the environment. That's just something that folks have come to us. Actually, some of these people have just heard about it and come to us and said, hey, we want to get involved. How can we help? And we've just been absolutely blessed by all of the folks who have joined the team.
That's wonderful. That's great. What I love about it is the product is the marketing, right? To sort of steal Seth Godin's purple cow, right? To get somebody to buy a Brita water filter pitcher, you need coupons and advertising and all this stuff. With Soma, when someone, you know, sets it on the table at a dinner party, that's the best marketing there is for the 8 people sitting around saying, wow, what is that? Well, it's a, you know, and then they explain Soma. So I love that the product is the marketing. So speaking of that, the Kickstarter project, you have built and executed one of the best Kickstarter projects I've ever seen or been a part of. You're currently at 100, excuse me, 108,000 of a $100,000 goal. You blew through your goal really quickly. You have 24 days to go still. You're really blowing the doors off. And as you know, success on Kickstarter, success like that does not happen by accident. Can you walk us through from when you started planning the Soma project to some of the big major components? You've really managed this like a project and used your marketing, you know, background for this. Can you kind of walk us through the Kickstarter project?
Yeah, so one of the things that we realized is we went out and we interviewed about 15 of the most successful Kickstarter projects. And even if they were successful, we realized that it was often like 30 to 40 days of just hell. You know, you're managing social media, customer service, press inquiries, and it's a huge headache. And so our goal was to raise our $100,000 in the first 10 days. And we did that. We still have a month to go. We actually have cut off all marketing. We're not doing any efforts to promote it. And we've been so fortunate. Today, Springwise picked up the story, Course 77, which is such an awesome design blog. And Tim Ferriss is covering us on the 4-Hour Workweek blog.
Wow.
But the great thing, and this is really key to our strategy, is we wanted to see how we could reach that $100,000 goal really quickly. And now we will do some follow-up, enjoy the holidays, and move towards focusing on the product so that we can ship people the best product in the world as soon as possible, as opposed to focusing on the marketing. So how do you do that? How do you create a campaign where you can do 30 days worth of work in 10 days? And for us, we found, actually thanks to you, if you remember the Bitly hack that you taught me, which you could either explain now or you could share with people later, but the Bitly hack allowed us to find out where is all this traffic coming from. If you want to break down all the traffic that hits a Kickstarter page, because you really need traffic, where's that coming from? Once we found out where the traffic was coming from, then we really created this 2-pronged strategy, which was the secret to our success.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, the Bitly hack is, the short version for people is that Kickstarter provides a short Bitly link, and if you add the plus behind it, Bitly will provide you a nice pie chart and Bitly analytics of where that traffic is coming from. And I think you make a really good point that customizing your marketing and customizing your campaign, obviously yours was a design product, so there was, you know, design, press, and PR, but understanding that what percentage of your traffic is coming from Facebook and Kickstarter and Direct and Twitter and other things.
Yep.
So you've had amazing press about Soma, a lot of recent stuff that's picked it up, and then some that was more planned. I know you did a lot of work ahead of time to reach out to the right folks. Can you talk a little bit about the PR plan? How did you go about figuring out which outlets you wanted to be in, and how you secured some of the press before you launched? Because I think I've talked to a lot of Kickstarter folks that are doing Kickstarter projects, and they say it's live. How do I get this blog to talk about it? And it's like much better to do it the way you did it, which is pre-planning it. Can you talk a little bit about that process? How you chose them, how you reached out, etc.
Yeah. So this 2-pronged strategy that we created, the first aspect was press, and the second aspect was activating your network. And so in terms of the press piece, what you just said is the secret. You need to have as much lined up before day one as possible. And so what we did was we realized that there are essentially 4 things that you need to look for in press. So step 1 is find the right press that's actually going to move the needle. Number 1 is relevance. Have they written about you and done something similar to your project? And so the way we did that was we actually looked at Kickstarter projects that were closest to us. And then we went out and found out who covered them using some interesting hacks that we explained in the Tim Ferriss post that's going out today. Okay. The second thing is readership. Okay, so now you may have 50 blogs that have covered a competitor or a similar project, but how many of them actually have a substantial readership? So we went to compete.com. We had a virtual assistant look up how much traffic each one of these blogs have, and then we rank them as such. The third thing we call relationships, and that's simply, do I know someone at this publication? So again, we use virtual assistants. We had them log into my Facebook account. They typed in the name of the bloggers we were targeting, and they saw either do we know them or do we know someone who can make an introduction. And then the fourth thing we describe as reach. And this is actually really fascinating. Reach is how can you reach the right people who are actually going to buy. So we were very lucky, and we were covered by really well-known and big online publications: Forbes, Fast Company, Inc. Magazine, Salon, Mashable. Surprisingly, the one that earned us the most money was Good.is. So Good is the online property of Good Magazine. Really incredible publication. Not many people know about it. The reason why that one drove more money than anything else, and like 10x more than some of these big name publications, is number one, it reached people through an email. And so we're in their inbox. We're curated as the number one thing that people need to know about Buy Good. Two, we reach the right people through Facebook and Twitter. And Facebook is really key there because most traffic comes from Facebook to your Kickstarter project. And then three, there was that relevance piece. The people who read Good Magazine are our ideal customers. So thinking through those four things of relevance, readership, relationships, and reach allowed us to make a media list of the absolute perfect targets. And then we did some, clever things to actually get onto those blogs.
That's great. That's a wonderful 4-step outline. So speaking of the PR and Mashable, they wrote a bit about a Kickstarter dashboard that you and your team built. Tell me a little bit about that and how that came about and what it does.
Yep. Yeah, so essentially we had this idea of your first pitch is cover us because we're a cool project. And to be honest, this is a bit of an uphill battle because there's so many Kickstarters out there. If you don't have a relationship, meaning if you either don't know a blogger or you don't have a friend or colleague who can make a strong introduction to a blogger, just pitching based on the coolness of your Kickstarter is really difficult. The second story is often, hey, we did really well on Kickstarter. We're one of the fastest growing. And then, though, after that, what's your pitch going to be? And so we started creating some custom things, one of which was a dashboard, which we've given away for free. If you just go to the Chrome store, you can actually download it in Chrome. It's just called Kickstarter Status Board. It was made by Zach Alia, who's a teammate, absolutely brilliant. And what we realized is managing a Kickstarter campaign is really, really frustrating because if you're sitting there, you've got to manage your Kickstarter messages, you have to manage your Kickstarter money, all of the press, Twitter, Facebook, your Bitly tracking, all sorts of stuff. So we created a dashboard where you can see all of this in one place. You can even see the clout scores of the people who are tweeting about you, and you can even reply to those people right from this dashboard. So instead of having 20 tabs open in your browser, you could just have one that you periodically look at. So we built that for our team just to manage the campaign ourselves, but we also knew we could give it away for free. Mashable picked it up, and a few other people have picked that up. And it's an awesome tool if you're going to do a Kickstarter campaign. Again, it's completely free. We just want people to benefit from it. You can download this tool, and it'll greatly help you with your Kickstarter.
Wow, that's great. What a generous gift to the community. That's wonderful. So you're part of some pretty amazing tribes like Summit Series and some others. Can you talk a little bit about the importance of being part of existing tribes as well as building your own tribe prior to success on Kickstarter so that you have an initial base of people to contact?
Yeah, so one of the things that we learned is that your friends are incredibly generous. Our friends absolutely blew us away. They wrote blog posts, they made introductions, they tweeted, they backed us very generously. Our main reward was $50. And some people would select that and put in $100 or $250. So your friends, which are really the heart of your tribe, are the people who are going to really push your Kickstarter forward. So yeah, we're super blessed because we're part of all these really cool networks of people. What we did was, number one is I just segmented my personal network. So I went into Gmail, I exported all of my contacts. It was like over 7,000 contacts. And over Thanksgiving, I literally went through, I had no idea how I could outsource this. So I went through this big spreadsheet and I would just delete people that I had lost touch with, or maybe I was on like some kind of email newsletter, all this stuff. I came up with 1,200 relationships that I felt were really valuable. And those were the heart of the campaign. I segmented those 1,200 into 3 lists. One is influencers. So, someone like yourself who has an online influence, you have a following, people look to you as an expert. Number 2 would be what I would call in-the-know friends, which would be like friends who basically have known about Soma and our Kickstarter. They don't need an explanation when we launch. They get that Tuesday at 8 a.m. we need their help. And so they're in a different bucket. And the last would be acquaintances. People who I have a relationship with, I haven't spoken to in a while, but I know that they'll be excited to hear an update. And those people were in a third bucket. What we were able to do is, by segmenting those lists, change the communications. So my in-the-know friends, it's like, hey man, we just launched, let's do this. And they knew exactly what to do. My influencer friends, we actually created a share page. You can see it if you go to somawater.co/KSshare. And we made it super easy for these people to hit their networks on Facebook, Twitter, and then to go to the Kickstarter. And my acquaintances, we sent out an email for free on MailChimp to like 1,000 people, and it was an explanation. I think the subject line was important life update. And I just wrote them, hey guys, I know I haven't talked to you for a while. I started this company I'm really passionate about. It's great for your health. It's great for sustainability. Check it out. I'd love for you to share. A mass email, something like that. What we learned was that what you need to do, since Facebook is really crucial to any Kickstarter campaign, you need to get buzz within one tribe at the same time to make sure you're the hottest thing on Facebook. So for our friends, they saw Soma all day, every day for about 10 days straight.
Yep.
The reason why is Facebook's really limiting what you're showing. So if I go out and share something on Facebook today, 90% of my Facebook friends aren't going to see it. But if you share it and other people that are in this community, well, now Facebook's going to push that to the top, and that just causes more and more sharing. So we did a few things like these landing pages that we knew that right when we sent those out, we would get tons of people sharing at the exact same time, and we could get these clusters of virality in different communities. And that's what really made the buzz happen and drove a ton of traffic. That's one of the unique things that I don't think people necessarily understand. They just, oh, I would love for a friend to share about our Kickstarter. No, you need to get a lot of people in the same communities to share all at the same time. And if you do that, that's what makes the difference.
Yeah, Facebook is huge. From all the Kickstarter projects I've analyzed, Facebook, especially if you add up Facebook and Facebook mobile, it usually is a large percentage of that pie chart using that Bitly hack. So I know we're running out of time. Last question, the video. The video is key to every Kickstarter project. Some of the best Kickstarter videos have literally gone viral. People share them even if they're not interested in the product. Can you talk a little bit about how you planned and executed the video and any lessons learned?
Sure. So I'd say the unique thing that we did with our video, and if you go to our Kickstarter, you should really watch it. It's a beautiful video. We invested a lot of time and money into it. We hired these filmmakers who are really talented. And so, of course, you want a powerful story. You want to show the product being developed. You want to show the product being used. But what we did that I think was unique and people should consider is we knew exactly who we were targeting, which is basically people who value great design and sustainability. So they're like the urban professional, 25 to 45. They probably bought something on Kickstarter and fab.com, a little bit more like New York, San Francisco, and we targeted these people because we knew they would love the product, and it's kind of our background too, and we made it a very designy product-based video. So like if you notice, like we're in like a super cool New York apartment, and like I look like a designer, right? I have like a beard, like I'm kind of wearing this designerly shirt, and the whole ethos is about the product. Now we could have flipped it and we could have said it's about glass design for suburban homes. Well, that's not our core customer yet. Our core customer right now is the early adopter. So when you look at the music, the first scene, which is of San Francisco, and it shows this like skateboarder, and then the product development process, which is really beautifully done. It's really geared towards a key customer, and I think that that's one important takeaway is when you're making your video, don't just talk about how it's cool for everyone. Find out who's really going to be that first tribe and make the video for them so it really resonates.
I love it. That's perfect. So we're going to wrap now. Where can people find it? They can obviously go to Kickstarter and search Soma. There will be links to it wherever this is posted. But you guys created a cool little memorable bit.ly short URL. And what is that?
Yeah. So it's simply bit.ly/SomaWater. So bit.ly/SomaWater. And that will get you to our Kickstarter page. And you can see some of the stuff we've done there. And then Clay, I'm sure, so for everyone watching this, Clay's been a great advisor. He's obviously one of the great Kickstarter experts. He's helped me a lot. So we can make the materials free and available to anyone in your tribe, the landing pages or any other materials. So I'd say check out the Kickstarter page to get kind of a sense for what we did. And then any materials you'd like to share, Clay, with your audience, we can make those available so people can see, some more of the kind of unique aspects of what we did throughout the campaign. And, happy to share that with folks.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Mike. Congratulations on rocking it. Everybody check out bit.ly/SomaWater. Thanks.
Thank you.